So yesterday I was able to convert the QSS-25, which is a 6 degree of freedom motion platform, from car over to helicopter, and I posted a little video on noobifier 2, which is the other channel. It's linked up for you now. Go check it out if you like. Super fun. It's all part of the review process, and there will be a review on this massive motion simulator. Hello YouTubers, this is the noobifier. I started this playlist and series called Community Concerns because I have more time to research. If you missed past week's installments, they're in a playlist. Today is the 15th of November 2022, and I try to do these on Tuesdays, choosing topics wherever possible that are well presented and have a good banter back and forth. We begin with the threads, and the first couple ones are in like a little bit of a lightning round in keeping with the importance of the topics being discussed. Zach wants a 1-hour show where Chris reacts to memes and deepfakes that the community makes about Chris. This thread was closed almost immediately, and despite the OP saying that it would be a fun show, no, it's a fucking stupid idea and a complete waste of time. We've begged for Chris more so hard that he appeared on CitizenCon after saying he wouldn't, and then spoke about an hour about the future. Personally, I would prefer Chris to spend until at least June focusing on release and not worrying about deepfakes and other BS. But my statement comes with a double-edged sword. I would love to see Chris twice a year. A big breakdown at CitizenCon, and perhaps a Q&A like what was done on Spectrum, where we asked questions and he spent an hour answering them. What are your thoughts? Would you be okay with that, or do you want even more Chris? Do you want Chris deepfake content with Jared? Next, Sintawa proclaimed that parachutes won't work without an atmosphere, and I'm going to say thanks for stating the obvious, right? Like we don't know. I did a full video about this subject years ago, and it's also important to remember that we have suits with thrusters and we're 1,000 years into the future. It's pretty obvious that whenever this mechanic is added, it's going to be a little bit more complicated than a piece of silk and some string attached to your back. What are your thoughts? Do we need this mechanic soon, or is this okay to be a later effort? Next, Cosmic said that once we have nose pinup art, their wallet will open. They cited that World War II thing where the air crew would paint pinups on the nose of the craft, usually larger planes like bombers, and this is called pride in ownership and pride in identity. It's a great piece of morale for the crew who are struggling to make sense of the realities of war. I fully support the addition of any nose art deemed tasteful, but I also feel that there are bigger fishes to fry in the development. Perhaps, however, this would be a great first task for a junior developer. They've been saying lately that the hires are tasked with fun projects to become familiar with the engine. Perhaps after procedural damage is online, nose art like this might be a thing. Tell us in the comments what you would have as nose art if you were able to. Next. Kraken commented on the leaked drama this week, and if you didn't know, there was a bit of drama back and forth. The backstory is Xylo confirmed that there was some leaked information on upcoming ships, and it wasn't a data mine, it was a deliberate act from an internal source. I personally don't care about leaks, mainly because I don't have time to speculate about shit that will eventually be confirmed. And we've been doing this for 10 years now, right? It gets old fast. I have better things to worry about than fake spaceships that will launch without mechanics or will be nerfed after a week. Why speculate about something that's going to change anyways? It's just going to lead to disappointment. But many of you do feel that it's super important and try very hard to actually avoid leaks. So to you, I can say you should be able to avoid spoilers, and it's unfortunate that others take this away from you by posting leaks. The rest of the post from the OP was basically them asking why CIG is still selling concepts at this point. The OP was asking CIG to build a ship and release it as flight ready sale. They're frustrated by the sea of ships that are years away from release, and they do have a point that selling pictures and ideas from the outside does look odd, right? It looks a little shady. So we know that this is part of the funding model, and I know that we have control over our own credit card. If CIG wants to offer starcitizen branded toilet paper and people buy it and it funds the game, do I care? No, not really. I do always worry about FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. Buying ships and selling concepts is done in a manner that makes you feel like you might miss out, and that is the main part that I dislike. People who might feel the need to buy a ship instead of paying for rent just because they feel like they're going to miss out. Regardless, as I said, we're all adults, and CIG is not at fault because it's your choice to buy or not to buy. So what's your opinion? Would you like CIG to stop selling concepts and only sell flight-ready ships? Or is it fine the way it is? Next. Devil Cooker is asking for a list of ships being worked on in order. No dates, but a list so that they can see what's next. Basically, they're asking for a ship-only roadmap, and they said it would help them to decide what ships they're going to buy in what order, to plan for Christmas. Personally, I see some issues with this idea. The first one is if the internal priorities change and the BMM, let's say, is first on the list and then it stopped being a priority and then was removed from the list, then the list would do many magnitudes more damage than good. CIG is already taking away information from the community because it's a constant source of drama. We read too far into the Gantt chart and then quarterly we set the internet on fire when things are changed, like it was set in stone or something, despite all the warnings. So, it's okay to ask, but to the OP, this is like asking Chris when Squadron 42 is going to release. We don't need this. And if you do, to decide what ships you need to buy in what order, perhaps you should just buy them all. Seriously though, ships go on sale each year, and many ships are available to buy in-game. So there is no FOMO, there's no reason to panic, and you won't miss out, right? Just buy it again next year, who cares? It may actually be cheaper because of the war bonds. That's it for this week. I really appreciate you taking the time to join me. And of course, I hope that you take the effort to comment or share, as that really helps a lot. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse.